Alright, welcome back to another Art of War 3 replay. I'm your host, John Cena, and today we're going to be doing a 2v2 battle. My partner is going to be a random person. I'm going to be the green player, my partner is going to be blue, and we're going to be playing against two resistance players. So here we go, we're getting some scouting in. We want to collect those early game containers, and we can see here that both red and yellow are very active in their scouting as well. Both of them are actually using gold boosts. We got a good scout on the yellow base. We can see they got full infrastructure down for early game. We just want to note for the audience here that the yellow player is rank 19 and the red player is rank 17. I am rank 17, my partner is rank 18. So here we go, I'm getting a fourth supply center down. My partner's getting their third supply center and the power plant. They're a little bit slower on the development than I am. And it looks like they're dropping down actually some defensive structures and barracks kind of close to the border by the yellow player. And it looks like we got some early game aggression here. Yellow's got some infantry about to take down a bunker, and they got a sniper tower firing on the blue player. So bunker's gonna go down. Yellow player's not gonna quite push yet though. Meanwhile, I got some riflemen in the back of my base, kind of harassing me a little bit. So blue player's finally got a rock tower down, and we can see that they're going straight for a gold common defense boost, just to give the rocket tower that extra range. So I'm going to send my assaults over to the back of my base here, just so I can clean up these riflemen, so they can stop doing damage to my supply center. And we can see just how far that rocket tower shoots on a gold common defense boost. So riflemen have been cleaned up. I'm going to produce a cyclone. We need a good scout on the red player. I have no idea what they're up to yet. Could be a massive rush. They could be teching up. We don't know. But we need to get some information. So I'm going to put down a second bunker. Continuing to build my infrastructure as well. So I want you to see this bunker, just how far it's shooting. That is a bunker on a gold common defense boost. Accidentally did a misclick there on the mini-map. So my cyclone's going to clean up another rifleman scout. I'm in the middle of teching up to HQ3. Meanwhile, I'm going to send this cyclone over to check out the red player's base. So as we're flying over the red player's base, we can see they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 supply centers. They're already HQ3. They've got a hawk out, and they're upgrading infrastructure for production. So the red player is pretty obviously gold boosting, because I've been red boosting and I'm nowhere near where the red player is in terms of development. So this is going to turn into a pretty intense battle from what I'm suspecting already. So my partner is going to put down an anti-air tower. I'm also going to put down an anti-air tower. I've just finished upgrading to HQ3. I'm actually not going to go for Vertex because I think that my Vertex would get destroyed by the Hawks before I get a chance to actually get all my Vertex out. So here we go. Yellow's got some more harassment going with defensive structures, the gun tower and sniper towers. So I've got some decent infrastructure down, and I'm going to be upgrading my assault vehicle factory. I'm going to go for unit production because I need units for defense. I'm going to be getting out a cyclone and a typhoon. I need some anti-air, and I need it soon. I'm suspecting that red might try and hit me with some hawks. So here we go. We're going to move onto the plateau. I'm going to plant my typhoon onto that little ledge kind of by the red player's barracks. This is just going to give me a little extra visibility. Meanwhile, looks like my partner is upgrading. They're putting down some more defensive structures. like that barracks is getting upgraded, so we might see some snipers or grenadiers. Here we go. The red player's attacking. They're on some sort of attack boost for air. They've got 4 Hawks already. I gotta throw down an air raid boost. I throw down a red one. So it looks like both my Typhoons get cleaned up there. Thankfully I have the tower still for some anti-air. I put down a second special vehicle factory actually, so I can get double Typhoon production. Looks like the red player is going to try and take out my anti-air tower. I don't know if that's the smartest move. These Hawks are taking some pretty good damage. 1 Hawk goes down, 2 Hawks go down, and that 3rd Hawk is almost down. So 2 Hawks flying over my base. Looks like they were able to take out the tower, but I'm going to clean up. Oh, not quite. So there we go. We cleaned up a 3rd Hawk. So 3 Hawks for 2 Typhoons and an anti-air tower. And looks like Red's already got some Jaguars, and they're sending the Jaguars to start an early offensive. So I throw in a red common defense boost, and red player is going to retreat the Jaguars. Fully upgraded bunkers can actually take on a Jaguar one-on-one. So make sure you upgrade those bunkers, because strong bunkers go a long way. Alright, I've got a Zeus out. So I'm going to put my Zeus on hold stance because I want it to be able to engage along with the bunkers. I don't want anything to stray out too far or it's going to get chewed up. So a lot of porcupines, not enough cyclones. I'm going to lose my cyclone. Hawk's coming in, going to put down some fire. It's also going to take some damage as well from my Typhoons. And it looks like that Hawk is almost down. My ally notes that they're going to produce fighters, so maybe we'll see some Vertex coming up soon. Meanwhile, I'm going to throw down a rocket tower just to add to my defensive capabilities. My hunch is that I'm going to have to play defensively for a while here. Here we go. Red's coming onto the plateau next to my base, and I'm going to have to retreat. I've got some torrents out, and we're going to need some heavy firepower to repel the enemy. Here we go. Red's coming in hot, and we can see they've got grenadiers, a couple Jaguars, and porcupines. I'm going to focus on killing the Jaguars with my Zeus. If I can kill those Jaguars successfully, this attack's going to lose a lot of its firepower. I also need to keep the units away from my rocket tower long enough for it to finish. Once I get that rocket tower, it's going to make my defense much stronger. So here we go. The attack's mostly cleaned up, thankfully, and my rocket tower's out as well. And so we were able to stop that attack. So Red's going to retreat for now. So we can see some infantry moving up the middle there. Not sure where they're going yet, but we'll find out very shortly. And here we go. That is going to be the yellow player. Yellow's going to be sending a few riflemen and a couple armadillos, it looks like. We got 4, 5, 6, 7 armadillos. This is bad news for my partner because they've only got 1 Zeus out right now and 1 Cyclone. Zeus are pretty strong, but that's just too many armadillos. That Zeus is going to get cleaned up, and my opponent is chewing up my allies. Assault vehicle factory. This is not looking good. That's a level 3 assault vehicle factory. If that goes down, it's going to be a big hit. So I'm going to send a couple Cyclones over, and I'm also going to scout the plateau next to my base. Looks like Red's got pressure on me right now, but they can't quite advance yet because I've got a torrent there. I'm producing more torrents. So Red's kind of holding off for now on advancing on my base. So I send my Cyclones over, and it looks like the Avia factory is going to go down too. It's a level 2 Avia factory. Not good for my ally. And looks like we got another small engagement happening here. I'm going to send my Cyclones in to check it out. Looks like the Grenadiers are partially advancing, but looks like Red's going to retreat. I'm going to retreat as well. 3 Cyclones is not enough to launch a full-scale assault. So right now, just steadily defending, trying to make sure that my opponent isn't able to get into the base. Looks like my ally, meanwhile, is rebuilding their assault vehicle factory and avia factory. And what is this? Oh my goodness. Okay, so my ally is now building walls. Okay, so my ally is going full camper mode. I would not recommend spending money on walls unless you're actively under attack. Otherwise, it's a waste of money, and that resources could be spent on building an army. Speaking of armies, we see the red players got their army still on the plateau. Jaguars are deployed along with grenadiers. Those 3 porcupines are still there. I just want to harass red a little bit, but can't do too much. Just kill a couple grenadiers and then retreat. Meanwhile, yellow looks like they've got a full siege line deployed. We got some Jaguars and defensive buildings. The sniper towers are just firing on my ally. So my defensive setup right now is a handful of Typhoons sort of on the inside of the base and some other structures. And we can see here that the yellow player is steadily building a defensive line. Yellow is going full-on camper mode on my ally, and my ally is responding by also going full camper mode. Not sure how I feel about that. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So we can see here, the red players, bulk of their army is actually on that plateau. So I've just got some Cyclones firing on the barracks on the right-hand side. It looks like we're going to take out that barracks. So I decide that I'm going to move my army over. We're going to try to make a push on the red player's base and see what happens. Red's got a mammoth firing on my base, but the bunker has decent armor, so it can take a few hits before it goes down, and bunkers are relatively cheap. So I'm going to send in an attack force here. We've got 4 Cyclones, 2 Taurens, and 6 Zeus. So we're going to see what kind of damage we can do here. Here we go, red attack boost for vehicles, and we're going in. So we're going to be able to take out 1 supply center, 2 supply centers down, and I'm actually going to deploy my Taurens kind of in the back. Looks like my ally is busy dealing with yellow and their defensive buildings. I'm in a full-scale engagement inside the red player's base, trying to just kill as much of the red vehicles and buildings as possible. Meanwhile, I want my Taurens to deal as much damage as possible to cover me from the back, but it is just too much. I am really outnumbered and outgunned here. Yellow players coming in to help out. They're going to be able to clean up my attack forces here. And as of right now, I don't have a whole lot in my base. If they were to attack right now, I would probably lose my base, but looks like yellow's going to retreat from now. Looks like my ally's got some Vertex out. A couple Vertex putting down some fire on that siege line. So we can see that yellow is already HQ4. I have yet to go HQ4 just because I've been focusing on units and just trying to be able to defend against the red players' aggression. Here we go. We got a chameleon moving in, and we're going to engage the army. We're going to put on a common defense boost, and it looks like the yellow player, excuse me, the red player is actually going to pull back because they don't quite have the firepower to punch through. That chameleon tells me, though, that the red player is also HQ4. At this point in time, both myself and my ally are still HQ3. I'm finally upgrading to HQ4, though, which is much needed. We're going to need the extra production and the extra resources. So, meanwhile, my ally is still going full camper mode. It's going to replace some walls, and I'm continuing to just produce units. I'm actually going to put down another assault vehicle factory. My plan is to see if I can try to make some more Zeus to maybe punch through. I'm also going to be cranking out some more Cyclones, just so I have some anti-infantry handy. Meanwhile, my ally is finished constructing a rocket tower. Looks like they're making another rocket tower. I'm going to move my Cyclones onto the plateau. I just see one Grenadier. I kill the Grenadier. As of right now, I have control of the plateau. I'm going to move to the side now, and I can see here that there's nothing. So I'm just going to make a push, and this is why. The red player is making a move to go around my base. They're going around my defensive line. So I actually don't quite have the forces to defend. I am not in position to move. I actually decided to try and risk a base trade. So that's why you can see my Zeus tanks moving away. Even though they would have potentially been crucial for this defense. Here comes the red player. This is not looking good for my base. I'm going to lose my assault vehicle factory. I get a couple Cyclones out. So the bottom side of my base has all of my torrents. I have no units up top to stop the red player. So here we go. Red player is producing porcupines to shoot down my Cyclones. I got 4 Zeus into the base, and they've got 4 Jaguars and 4 porcupines. It's not looking good for me. I'm trying to see if I can just do as much damage as possible. Really trying to cripple the red player's infrastructure. My ally's trying to help out with a single vertex. Is not going to cut it though. Red mammoths are moving in as well. Good news for me though, I've been able to take out 1 assault vehicle factory and 1 level 3 special vehicle factory. Meanwhile, my ally is under fire. There's a lot of mammoths hitting my ally. I'm under fire as well, but I've got a lot of torrents here. This is a very strong defensive line I've got set up on the bottom part of my base, and I'm actually going to be able to clean up his attack force pretty nicely. So he's just down to 1 Jaguar and 1 Mammoth. I've still got 3 Zeus of the 4 I originally sent, and I've got a surprising amount of infrastructure on the back of this base. Now, granted, I don't have an HQ right now, so I can't really produce any more units. Whatever units I have in the base, I gotta make them count. Same with these Zeus, I gotta make these 3 Zeus count. You can see already, the red player has plopped down 3 assault vehicle factories. Looks like they're still committing to a land build. Looks like my ally's still under fire. 3 mammoths just unloading on my ally. I'm able to take down 1 assault vehicle factory, and I'm just trying to kill off this Grenadier, trying to see if I can kill the Avia factory. There we go. It's a level 2 Avia factory. If I'm able to take it down, I'm not going to see any more Hawks for a little bit. And the Avia factory goes down. So, I'm still in trouble here. I'm not out of the woods yet. There's 5 Jaguars moving in from the elsewhere and a Chameleon. So I flagged this to get my ally to try and come to help me, because if my ally doesn't come to help, it's game over. So here we go. We're still going. Right now, I'm just accumulating resources. Hopefully, my ally's going to figure this out. Let's see what happens. My ally goes to the Chameleon first. Now, this is why you space out your Jaguars if you play with Jaguars. You can see those Jaguars were clustered together, and the Zeus were able to clean them up very nicely with the splash damage. So, I put down my HQ. I use a gold HQ reserve boost. And I'm not going to use it quite yet, but I'm about to use a reconstruction boost just so I can throw down some infrastructure to get myself back in the game. Meanwhile, my ally's still under fire. They still got those mammoths firing on the base. So we got a dragonfly coming into the base here. That's a scout. And I rebuild my infrastructure. I'm going to put down some supply centers, power plant, and construction yard. So my allies got a couple rocket towers now. Just throwing on a defense boost to increase the range. And here we go. Red's got another assault force coming in. This time it's grenadiers and armadillos. This is a lot of units here. I've got a gold common defense boost going. Let's see if we can pull off against this assault. And it looks like we're able to successfully repel it. The red player is actually going to retreat. This is good news for me to give me time to rebuild, get myself back into the game. So I got a single rifleman coming into this area just to scout a little bit. You can see that the red players built a couple gun towers to increase the defense of that area. I just want to take a moment to kind of point out this big defensive line from the yellow player. And my ally's going to try and go around the back with some Zeus. Okay, and here we go. My ally is HQ4, as you can tell, because they've got Thors. Let's see where these Thors go. We're going to hit the construction yard. I think that's a weird choice. I personally would have gone for the chameleon cloud to support the Zeus. There's only 6 Zeus here, and that is a lot of fire coming from that chameleon. So they'll get 1 bombing hit onto the yellow player's group. Killed a chameleon. That is way too many units though. Look at these armadillos coming in. I was trying to build a defensive line down the middle, but clearly that didn't work out. I'm going to lose the barracks, and I'm going to lose this construction yard here. And I'm thinking that this is going to be the end of me. I throw down some walls in desperation. And this is not looking good for me, but last minute, the armadillos actually decided to move up towards the top of the map. And this is when I realized that red player is actually not coming to finish off me. They're actually going to change tactics and try to hit my ally. So my ally gets a nice solid bombing run with those Thors. It's not going to be enough though. That's a lot of armadillos coming in. Armadillos are hitting the assault vehicle factory now. My ally's in a little bit of trouble now. Luckily, because my ally's gone full camper mode, they have a lot of rocket towers around the base. So if those armadillos get near the rocket towers, they're going to get shredded. Still, my ally just lost their airfield. With it, the Thors. Looks like they're going to lose that assault vehicle factory as well. And assault vehicle factory goes down. Armadillos are making their way through the base, but this is way too many rocket towers. Those armadillos are going to get cleaned up. So right now, I'm HQ3. I'm just spamming torrents and deploying them around my base. Right now, it's been working. It's the strategy that's been most helpful so far for defending against the large armies that Red has continuously been sending at me throughout the game. Meanwhile, the yellow player is continuing to camp hardcore defensive buildings, while Red's coming in with another assault force. This time we got armadillos and porcupines. They're going to destroy a bunker. We got my torch raining down fire. And looks like the red player is going around the side. And they're taking a lot of casualties, but there's a lot of units to kill. So it looks like the armadillos are coming towards my production factories. Now, in my case, it is very crucial to keep my special vehicle factory alive. If I lose that special vehicle factory, I am not going to be able to make any more torrents. That's going to put me at a big disadvantage in terms of being able to defend against mass armadillos. So, as you can see, I'm very close to losing that special vehicle factory, but I was able to successfully clean up those armadillos. But I can't quite repair the special vehicle factory. It's not in range of a construction yard. Okay, my ally comes in, bombs, a couple artillery pieces. So now I'm going to put down a construction yard in the area so I can rebuild and repair some stuff. I asked my ally if he's got a nuke because this is absolutely ridiculous. We're 30 minutes in and both the resistance players are just camping hardcore, just hammering us relentlessly. I asked my ally to try to build a nuke and they can't, or they say they can't because there's a gigantic defensive line just hammering them. This is the rank 19 player, keep in mind. So I think the rank 19 player is just kind of playing with us, which is really annoying. Here we go. Red trying to launch another attack, but changes their mind, probably for the better. A large cluster of armadillos is probably not going to make it through my current defensive line. And big bombing run from the Thors, taking out a couple snipers. And we're going to be continuing to produce units just so we can max out our command points. And my ally just flags the area again of that giant defensive line. It's a lot of sniper towers and gun towers, as we can see. And my ally is continuing to just build barracks and defensive structures, continuing to camp. I'm going to move my cyclones onto the plateau, get a little bit of a scout in. We can see armadillos are parked at the bottom of the plateau. So I'm actually going to take this opportunity. This is pretty risky, moving my entire army out of my base. Getting them in position. We're going to see if we can take the offensive here. So I deploy my torrents at the top, and beautiful hit onto the armadillo army. Does a massive amount of damage. I got 4 Zeus coming in, and we're just going to shred these armadillos. Those last 3 armadillos getting cleaned up, and I'm thinking that this is the time to make the move. When Red comes in with a ton of dragonflies. This is a lot of dragonflies. I was not anticipating this. I was anticipating more armadillos. And my cyclones are actually going to get cleaned up. And I realize here that I have the wrong composition to combat dragonflies. So I'm going to retreat. I'm going to take some casualties as well as I'm retreating. And in the meantime, at my special vehicle factories, I'm going to see if I can get some typhoons out. So double special vehicle factories, pumping out those typhoons. And the typhoon, first one coming out, is enough to make the red player retreat, which is good. I need time to rebuild. So, we're going to look at yellow player's base again. We can see yellow player is actually HQ 5, and it's just continuing to build this massive defensive line. Meanwhile, my ally's still losing defensive structures. I'm going to move back onto the plateau. I need to see what's happening, where the red player is at. We see a single dragonfly on the plateau. 1 dragonfly is not going to be a problem. I got plenty of Zeus and 3 typhoons and a couple heavy assaults. So this time, I think that I have enough to combat the dragonflies. So I deploy my typhoons, and we go head to head. I've got a red air raid boost going as well. It's like red players taking some good damage. I'm also taking good damage, so I lose all of my typhoons. I'm trying to dish out damage with my torrents, and looks like a lot of my anti-airs actually got shredded, so this is not looking good for me. I need to retreat because I do not want to lose these Zeus tanks and that torrent. So I gotta retreat back down the hill. Dragonflies are relentlessly hitting my Zeus tanks. Meanwhile, I've got double barracks pumping out heavy assaults. Thinking that I'm gonna need to change strats and we're going to go instead for a lot of heavy assault and see what happens. Yellow's putting some pressure on my ally. It's like army is hitting the walls. I tell my ally I need them to move their army around the back of their base and move it to support me to try and hit red. But my ally says negative. Yellow's right at the doorstep. Beautiful bombing hit though from those Thors. It's gonna cost him both those Thors though. So those sniper towers and mammoths continuing to lay fire onto my ally. So my ally sending out a single Zeus to clean up the mammoth. Meanwhile, I'm over here producing more units, getting some more heavy assaults and anti-air units, and we're actually going to go HQ4 as well, so we're able to build up enough resources to do so. Now, red's coming in with these dragonflies. This is key. I decided to time my attack here because this means the dragonflies are not on my side of the map. I send a cyclone to check the top. Looks like it's armadillos and some infantry. Red's gonna go and pull back off the plateau. Meanwhile, my ally is finally moving their army. I'm gonna move my army onto the top of the plateau here. And we're gonna get into the nice positioning before we launch our attack. We want to make sure that we're ready. Alright, here we go. We're gonna commit full send, and we've got 3 Typhoons, 7 heavy assaults, some Zeus, 2 Torrents, and a Cyclone. My ally says wait. I didn't think my ally was actually coming. It's too late. I throw in a gold air raid boost, and massive engagement unfolds. A lot of dragonflies, a lot of units from the red player, and I originally thought I was going to lose this engagement. I was surprised to see just how quickly my opponent's dragonflies got destroyed. I'm taking heavy casualties here, but so is the red player. And I'm continuing to pour in reinforcements. So here I was actually able to successfully kill red's entire army. It's got a couple things left, like a mammoth and a couple armadillos, but it's not going to be enough. I kind of read this as the moment to push. This is the window of opportunity that I've been looking for, so we're going to commit to it. So there we go. Red player is producing grenadiers, dragonflies, and a mammoth, but it's not going to be enough. I've finally broken into the red player's base. This is the second time in the game. We're already past the 40-minute mark. It has been absolutely brutal to get to this point. We're in the base now, and we're just going to go and attack and do as much damage as possible. I move my heavy assault in. This time now, I'm going for a lot of infantry, and just trying to get as much heavy assaults in as possible to mix in with my vehicles. We've got vehicles, assaults coming in. We've got heavy assaults. It's a strong composition mix. Red is desperately spamming units, trying to defend against my attack. But I am just going to keep going, destroy as many factories as possible. I want to take out as much of that production as possible. Red's desperate because they are just spamming grenadiers. Meanwhile, my ally finally has arrived, and they brought with them a massive Zeus army. So we got a lot of heavy armor to back up my current attack force. So even if my attack force gets cleaned up, it's going to be a whole nother group of Zeus to come in, and it is more than enough to clean up this red base unless Yellow's got something up their sleeve to counter. Speaking of Yellow, here's Yellow. We spot a couple Jaguars and a Chameleon getting deployed. We see Red is HQ getting under attack as well. And now my ally joins the fight. it is now a 2v1 in this arena. Red's still pouring out those dragonflies. Got a couple grenadiers, but it is not going to be enough. So, able to take out that chameleon, take out the command center. No more units for the red player. I've lost most of my heavy assaults by now, but I don't care because my ally has a bunch of Zeus, and that is plenty of firepower. So we continue to move. You can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 avia factories. So it looks like the red player was prepared to spam a lot of dragonflies. So I'm continuing to move forces in. I've got more heavy assaults coming in. And looks like yellow player's getting desperate. They sent in a chameleon with jaguars in it to try and attack my ally. Good thing for my ally is they've got some defensive structures and some Zeus still in the base. Alright, so we have fully cleaned up the red player. Yellow's actually retreating. And we're going to move up towards the yellow player's base. And we are going to steamroll the yellow. Let's do this. There we go. We got some infantry. We're going to get absolutely destroyed by those horns. We got some more units kind of spawning onto that plateau. I tell my ally move to point F. And then I'm going to flag another spot, point G on the map. This is going to allow our entire army to get behind that large defensive line. And it's going to get us direct access into Yellow's production structures. So Yellow now spamming armadillos, grenadiers. So I put my units on an attack move so that I can cover my ally as my ally is moving his entire Zeus army into position. Okay, we see chameleon now. I tell my ally to charge. Let's do this. And we can see those mammoths are not getting deployed to attack. We know that yellow player is desperate at this point. They know that they have done goofed for camping for too long. So this is why you don't camp, you finish the opponent when you can. And it looks like yellow's forces are getting cleaned up. We're going to move on to the yellow player's HQ. We are just hitting that HQ hard right now. And the HQ goes down. That is essentially a good game for this yellow player. It was a very long and stressful battle, but we were able to pull through, and that is the important part. Looks like my allies bringing in some more reinforcement Zeus. So now, last piece that we're going to do here is we're just going to clean up this yellow player's insanely large defensive line. Look at all those defensive structures. This is hardcore camping at its finest. Snipers, gun towers, anti-air towers, construction. But all of it is worthless without power. And that is good game. Thanks for joining us on this battle.